kids, Kelly of Kelbell Studio back at you with the March video for the paper Couture. St. Patrick's Day is this month, so I thought something green would be a good choice, and I've selected a gorgeous little green fairy outfit. Now I didn't put any wings on her, but that's something you can certainly do. The other unique thing that I haven't done with any of my other dresses is added the leaves and the little flourishes here to give it kind of a nature, sort of a woodland fairy look, if you want to call it. So this is what we're going to make, so let's get started. Okay, per usual, you're going to want to grab your green fairy template from my blog. I'll leave a link here in the video, also in the description. If you're joining me later, I'll have a photograph of the finished green dress in the sidebar of my blog, and you can just click on the image and find the template that way as well. Okay, so I've already started cutting out my pieces, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through how to put this together into a completed top, because you guys should already know how to do that. But what I am going to do is just do a short little video on putting this together along with the skirt, just so you can see where I'm coming from, and then I'll show you how to embellish it, which is really the nuts and bolts of this video, which is going to include how to make a leaf with veins in it, something like this, so that you can use in your fairy costume. And you can either use this as wings, you know, something like that, or you can use it to embellish your dress. This might be a little big, but you'll get the idea. So just sit back and enjoy the ride for a few minutes. Okay, so now we've made it this far, and this is the point at which we can start adding a little bit of embellishment, like leaves, for instance. So I've got a bunch of leaves that I've just cut out of the same paper that I used for this, and actually this is the Martha Stewart leaf punch. So front and back, because I don't like white backs when I'm doing leaves, and you know, we can just arrange them around the waistline of the skirt, just to add a little bit of visual interest. So once I have a sort of a design, then I can come back and share that with you. So what I've started doing here is adding some little leaf sprays onto my skirt with a couple of little flourishes there that I think looks really cute. And these are really easy to make. Basically all you're doing is you're just gluing your stems together. So I've varied sizes. Well, the leaves aren't varied in size, but you can see what I did by just you have one of these, you can just start snipping, or I think I have one here that I actually made longer. Yeah, here it is. I actually made it longer, which you just snip off a portion and just start adding it on. So, you know, very easy to lengthen or shorten these as needed. So I've got these two sprays that I already know how I'm going to place these, so I'm just going to start gluing them on. If you have something that looks like it kind of wants to go toward the back like this one does, you know, you can just bend it down a little bit and just add a little touch of glue to tack it into place. So, very easy to work with these. My hands are shaking because of coffee. Anyway, just play around with placement, and I always play around with where I want to place these before I actually glue them down, so that's key. That way you won't be unhappy with it or surprised with it, you know, by the time you get done. Now what I'm doing here is I'm putting it up close to the waistline but leaving just enough space because I plan to put a ribbon around this waistline to hide some of these edges, so I want to make sure that I leave the edge kind of open and free for that ribbon. Okay, I've now got my leaves, both front and back, how I like it, and I'm ready to add the ribbon. So it's just 1/8 of an inch satin yellow ribbon that I'm just going to carefully put on here. Make a little V in the front. Something like this. So here's what this little beauty looks like with the ribbon added, and as you can see I also added a little sleeve treatment here, which I'll show you how to do, and I rather like the look of just the one side, so I think I'm going to leave it as is. I thought about putting it over there, but just doing it on one side adds a lot of visual interest to this dress. So I'm just going to real quickly show you how I did this. Still got some glitter drying there. And it's just a 1-inch hole punch. And you're going to take your scrap of paper and you're just going to punch. I just like to see what I'm doing, so. So you end up with a circle like this, and you just fold it in half. And cut it in half along your fold line. I'm having a hard time seeing my fold because this is crinkled paper. So now you've got this half circle, and then you fold it in half again. And then I just edged mine with a, it's called Decal Edge by Fiskars. And you're just going to go around the edge. Like that. So now you've got something that looks like this, sort of like a clam or a scallop shell. And then to put this on, now I angled this, and I angled it toward that little, I don't know what you call it, little divot. You can see how this angles. It comes in and then it comes out. So I'm angling the ends, the tips, toward that center, and I'm just catching just the very edge of the top part of the sleeve. So it looks something like that. And then I just went around the edge with a little bit of glitter, some stickle, just to kind of polish that up a little bit and give it more of a finished look. And then for the leaves, obviously, you just take a couple of your leaves off your punch and glue them together. And don't forget that whatever you do to the front, you should do to the back as well. So that's how this is shaping up so far. And we don't have much else to do to this. What I'm going to do now is maybe just add a few little paper roses strategically here and there. So at this point you can pretty much just decorate it however you want, whatever suits your taste, you know. What I want to do is just real quickly show you how to make a leaf that has veins in it. So it's going to look something like this, and here's my paper. And it's not very difficult to cut out your own leaf shape. Actually, I'm not going to use those scissors. I have a mini scallop scissor, and I'm just going to cut a leaf shape, and you can go as large or as small as you want. So here I am with my leaf shape. You're just going to fold it in half. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take a tweezer and just twist. And just give it a little crease. And then you're just going to keep going on down the line. I didn't come up with this. I found this on somebody's blog, but they were doing it. They didn't edge the leaf. Big difference, right? So I wanted to do the scallop edge leaf. So there you go. This makes an excellent rose leaf if you're doing roses that are large, but you can also use this little trick. If you don't have a leaf punch and don't want to buy one, you can certainly use it on your dress instead of these little tiny ones. So just another option for you. Love the look of this. It's absolutely adorable. So keep that in mind. So I've added my roses and my little embellishments, my little flourishes. I did a little leaf treatment here at the neck and added a little flourish there. So she's got roses in the back, a little flourish, and roses in the front, and I feel like this is pretty balanced. So there's really only one other thing that I'm going to do to this before I call it finished, and that is I have this little piece of paper that all I did was edge it with my scalloped edge scissors, and then I pleated it. So we tuck it up under here. This might get a little tricky for me. So what it's going to do is just add kind of a frilly little edge to that bottom, that skirt bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this into place and be back when it's finished, and then really the only other thing we have to do is to add some little glitter accents here and there, and we'll be calling her done. So once I've gotten that glued on, this is how this looks. Now the only thing that's left is to add a little bit of glitter accents. So we'll go ahead and do that with the roses, maybe a little bit on the edge of the skirt. You know, just wherever you feel it needs it. So I'm just dabbing it on. So I've gotten all my little glitter accents on here, and this is how she looks. We can take our hanger and insert that. Adorable, isn't it? I think it's absolutely total pure sweetness for Miss March. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you had fun. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.